a virtual show, The Intent to Steal, and Rennie Harlan is still at it. All this and more on this week's How Did This Get Made? Last Looks. Hit the theme.
How did this get made? Trash can fires in Jacob's ladder. Started out bad, now it's getting badder. Jason Statham, Angelina. Down at the Largo is where I seen them. How did this get made? Tall John Shear and Jason Zeus. Balcony monsters about to puke. Julian asks what's its mission, and where the butt starts is another question. How did this get made? How did this get made? How did this get made?
Hello, all my upstairs and downstairs sharks. I'm your host, Paul Scheer, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? Last Looks, where you, the listener, get to voice your issues on Bait 3D, a movie that Discord user Vinod S thinks could have been called Super Shark at Sleep. I tried to do it as best as I could. Super Shark at Sleep. Yep, that's right. Great. Thanks, Vinod, for that alt title. And remember, if you have an alt title or a tagline, submit it to us on our Discord, our very active Discord. I want to give a big shout out to our Discord mods for running that place perfectly. I love getting on the Discord. I love getting on my Discord. We are nice people there. It's good social media. So thank you, Discord mods. Thank you, Discord people. And thank you, Vinod S. Just so you know, in a little bit, I'll be reading your corrections and omissions from Bait 3D. And after that, Jason's going to join me. We're going to talk about movies, TV. You know how we do it. And after that, guess what? Yeah, you know the drill. I'm going to reveal the movie for next week's episode. But before we get any further, I want to announce that a couple weeks ago, we started talking about a new theme song for the show. And the theme song that you heard that brought us in today by the Action Jackson 5 is going to be the theme song you're going to be hearing for a little bit. That's right. Action Jackson 5 is the winner of our Last Looks theme song contest. Congratulations, Action Jackson 5. We'll be using your song to open Last Looks for the rest of the year. That's right. You and Biden get to sail out the rest of the year. Anyway, I want to give a huge thanks to everyone who submitted themes to us. They were all amazing, but I especially want to shout out Matthew Fountain, The Balloon Ride Fantasy, John Cohen, and Rob from Long Island, who had some of our other favorite songs. Now, we may open up submissions again for the main theme songs at some point. We're going to need something past January. But right now, all you musicians can just send in themes for corrections and omissions. Just chat. You win nothing. And you can always send them to howdidthisgetmade@earwolf.com or post them on our Discord. But keep them short. 15 to 20 seconds is best. Heads up, I will be in Santa Cruz. That's right. I'm doing a little pop-in at Bookshop in Santa Cruz this August. Go to my website, check it out. It's a free event. All you have to do is RSVP, and then you can come see me in Santa Cruz. Also, How Did This Get Made is going to be returning to New York City on Friday, November 15th at Town Hall. I think we're down to just like 100 tickets left, but you go to hdtgm.com for the ticket purchase link. And I want to let you know, we have a live show coming up, but not just a live show, a virtual live show. You asked for it. We're going to do it. A virtual live show. Get ready for it. And I want to say one more time, if you read my book, please keep on reviewing it. The Goodread reviews are amazing, and the Amazon reviews really, really help. It's been blowing me away. So thank you so much. And if you've not gotten my book as an audiobook or as an ebook or as a regular book, it's called Joyful Recollections of Trauma. Jane Fonda liked it. Amy Poehler liked it. People have liked it. And I've found that people are giving it to their friends. And if you want a personalized copy of it, you can just reach out to Chevaliers. You go to my website and you can tell them what you want me to write in it or some version of that. And I will write a personalized thing just for you for the price of the book. Anyway, And an important plug, whoever you're voting for, just make sure that you are registered to vote. That's right. Get out and register to vote. It's very simple. Just head on over to Vote Save America to find out if you are registered. That's it. Just go and just find out that you're registered. Have the ability to participate, because when we all participate, everybody wins. And especially it's important in the state and local elections. I'm a big believer in that. The website, again, is Vote Save America. They will make sure, or you can make sure that you are registered simply by going to that. That's it. That's it. Okay. Very simple, very easy. I love that. I love it. Anyway, let's go, people. Let's get into Bait 3D. There's a lot to unpack. It is now time for corrections and omissions.
For all the things we talked about, there were things we did leave out. So now it's time for corrections and omissions.
Thank you, Dornheim, for that theme song. Let's go to the Discord. Fun Facts 47 writes, why did Doyle, a.k.a. Nip Tuck, thank you for reminding me of who they were, casually walk into the grocery store, face exposed, only to put his ski mask on right before entering the manager's office? There has to be security cameras pointing at that entrance and throughout the store, so there'd definitely be video evidence of him as the robber. I mean, if this is his last job, it means he's done this before, so it's unbelievable that he'd make such a rookie mistake. Now, I get it. I get why he wouldn't, and I get why. I get your point too. I don't know how to bridge the gap, because if he went in wearing a mask, everyone's freaking out. If he goes in without a mask, he can sneak in. Maybe what he does is he doesn't wear the mask, sneaks in, robs him, and then casually mixes in and then exits, right? Maybe that's part of the plan. I don't know. But Vitrio, a.k.a. the Bait Pomeranian, the poor Bait Pomeranian, actually has a better theory than me. Okay, Nip Tuck is not doing the heist as a last job. He's doing it to get his brother out of debt with a psycho guy. When they stop at the car park, Nip Tuck says, when this is done, we're straight. My brother's clean and I don't ever want to see your face around him again. Looks more like Nip Tuck's brother was in a gang with Psycho, and in order to get him out, Nip Tuck is doing the supermarket job on his behalf. All right, Vitro, I get that. But the mask is still in question. Anyway, we can't figure it out right now. Blonde Monster writes, I can't stop thinking about when the water goes away and the cleanup crews start cleaning up bodies. I mean, there will be one man in a metal cage with beans and carrots duct taped to his legs. This cleanup crew has to be like, what the fuck? You know what? If you're going to go in a tsunami shark attack, I think that's the only way to be found. Anyway, let's go to the phones. Dale from Arizona, what do you got?
Listening to your Bait episode, heard June say something. Now, she's usually spot on with her information, but she did say in this episode that in order to get charged with a shoplifting, you have to leave the store. I happen to be a prosecutor. There are generally also statutes that say that if you conceal an item with the intent to steal it, you can also be charged with the shoplifting. So you don't necessarily have to leave the store. Love you three. Love the show. Thanks. Bye.
Huh. Intent to steal. I like it. I believe you. You're a professional. I think this is really good. And Dr. Guts actually chimes in on the Discord about that according to criminaldefenselawyer.com, to commit the crime of shoplifting, all someone needs to do is move the property or exercise control over it in a way that is inconsistent with the shop owner's reasonable expectations about how shoppers will handle the merchandise. However, store security often won't apprehend a suspect until that person has left the store to make sure they have an open and shut case. So, do you want an open and shut case, or you want to go litigate it? Either way, let it be known, shoplifting happens at intent. Another Dale from Toronto.
Hi, Paul. I'm calling about the live Bait episode. First, though, I want to mention your book. I loved it. It was so funny, so unique, very poignant, so well done. Okay, so I have a minor correction and maybe a slight omission. In the episode, you wondered why the water never receded in the grocery store, but when our hero was coming into work at the start, he entered at street level and walked down some stairs. So the store is definitely underground, or at least one level down. They also show a few customers using those stairs to get in. And then at the end, when those final hopes for humanity were trying to get out, they have to blast and work their way upward to get out onto street level. The omission, I think, I was a little surprised I didn't hear any mention of how friggin' often that injured cop dangled his bleeding leg and feet over the edge of the shelving, knowing a chum-loving great white has been circling just below the whole time. Then again, maybe they didn't cover that in his police training. I don't know. So thanks for keeping us all laughing. I hope to see you, June, and Jason at a live show one day. And justice for Bowie. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Dale, thank you so much for the lovely things that you said about my book. And you know what? Yes, if you say nice things about my book, you are going to get on the show. That's fine and fair. Okay, so yes, I agree with you. That cop was stupid to dangle that leg there. Blood does attract a shark. We know that. Most people know that if you're not even in the shark world. In the shark world. We know it from movies. Anyway, I guess you're right. There was downstairs to get in the store. We didn't call it out, so I'm sorry. And finally, this next call is from Anonymous, but because we already had two Dales, let's make it a third. Here's Dale.
Hey, Paul. Since the premise of Bait was about sharks getting displaced by a natural disaster, I wanted to call in and share two examples of this happening in real life. So the first one coincidentally happened in Australia. There was a golf course located near Brisbane that had a very large freshwater lake in the middle of it as a water hazard. And at one point, a nearby river flooded and washed about half a dozen bull sharks into the lake. And because bull sharks can live in freshwater, they actually lived there for a number of years before they were presumably washed out back into the river by a subsequent flood. If you Google Shark Golf Course Australia, you'll find tons of videos and articles that talk about this. And the second example, coincidentally happened in Massachusetts. And it took place in Cape Cod, where a great white shark, also presumably because of flooding, got trapped in a small saltwater pond near the beach. And that one too, if you just Google, shark Cape Cod salt pond, you'll find articles and videos of it. So although the premise of a shark getting trapped in a grocery store is absolutely ridiculous, the idea that it can be displaced and trapped somewhere other than the ocean from a natural disaster actually is viable. Thanks so much.
I get it. Sure. You know what? If the point is that this could happen, yeah, you got it. But I'm also going to say that the shark would have had to have gone through a door. Downstairs and through a door. I mean, I get that the power of it may have displaced it or doors may have broken. I don't know. I get it. The big old gator in Bad Boys 4. Oh, man, I love Bad Boys 4. Anyway, back to the Discord. Sean McB writes, Paul and June said that they couldn't tell the two main characters apart, but the actor who played Ryan from the car park actually appeared in an episode of NTSF SDSUV in 16 Hop Street, which is our 21 Jump Street parody, which we became a spinoff of Filthy Sexy Teens, or Filthy Preppy Teens is I think what we had to retitle it. Wow, cannot believe that we did not recognize an alum from Nick Cannon High School there. Look at him. We should have asked him. Well, I guess we gave him a start. He was very good. Just couldn't tell the difference. It looked too similar. Corgi Herder writes, some of the details of the Bait sequel were mixed up. It's true the sequel, this is about me. The sequel was shelved after the Malaysian flight crash, but Rennie Harlan didn't shoot scenes with Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley yet. The original project in 2013 was being directed by Alistair Grayson before Rennie Harlan took over later. The Rennie Harlan project, now called Deep Water, is still actually alive with the two aforementioned actors. They were just shooting in the Canary Islands last winter, and here is a picture of it. Corgi Herder puts a picture of it up there. All right, so this is going to still come out. There's a fun detail left out too. The movie is being produced by Gene Simmons' production company. Gene played the villain in two How Did This Get Made movies, Runaway and Never Too Young to Die. Corgi, you don't got to remind me of that. I love this. So many great corrections and omissions this week, but there can only be one winner, one person to walk away with the best call. And you know, a lot of people brought up issues, but they didn't nail down anything except for Firstdale. He's in the world of criminal defense. I don't care. I like Firstdale. I think Firstdale gets it. Anyway, you get this amazing song from Homonym. Hit it.
You win.
Thank you, Homonym, for that song. Remember, if you want to chime in with your own thoughts about the latest episode, hit up the Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM or call us at 619-PAULASK. All right, coming up after the break, Jason stops by to chat about all the movies, TV, and comics that we are both currently loving. And as always, I will announce next week's movie. We will be right back. All right, people, here's the deal. Every Monday, we like to call it Matinee Monday. And this week, we have a really great episode. The 2015 action flick Dragon Blade. It starred Jackie Chan, Adrian Brody, and John Cusack. We had special guests Daniel Radcliffe and Aaron Darkey on the show. I love this episode. I loved having them on the episode. They are fans of the show, so they came prepared. And I want you to make sure that you're listening every Monday to find some of those back episodes that have been elusive for far too long. Anyway, I'm getting tired of talking to myself, so let's get Jason over here for a little Just Chat. Seth Chatfield, play us in.
Is it this, or could it be that? A little swing of the cane, a little tip of the hat. No, it's Jason and Paul, just getting into it all in a segment that we call Just Chat. Yeah.
Jason, how are you?
You know, Paul, I'm okay. Here we are.
We've been traveling. We've been around. I got to tell you, we took Dinosaur out to Portland and Seattle, and now we've been in Boston. We've been in Nantucket. It's been a blast to be on the road a little bit this summer.
It's been fun to see all you fucking gross monsters
and
all sweated up.
And I got to tell you, we are going to come back up to the Pacific Northwest. That was the one thing when we came up there with Dinosaur. People were mad that we haven't been to Vancouver. People were mad that we haven't been.
Mad. Because wait, was it 2019? Is that when we were there last?
Faithful Findings. I remember more by how long ago we did movies. So Faithful Findings, I remember that was at the Moore Theater in Seattle. So that
that's when the bodies hit the floor, right? That's Hubel. Hubel was there.
No, Bodies to the Floor is the Jason 10.
Oh, that was a different Seattle. That was also Seattle, though, right?
That was at Largo.
Oh, that was at Largo. But it was Hubel.
It was
Hubel. Hubel was in Seattle, am I right?
Yes, he popped in, and that was in... So we released that...
I just had the movie wrong.
No, it was 2019. You're right. 2019, we recorded that. Faithful Findings in Seattle. So we haven't been there.
So we got to go back up there, for sure. I loved the Moore Theater. I thought that was great.
So fun. I remember that theater.
And I loved the Neptune Theater that we did Dinosaur at.
They were great.
I thought both the Neptune and the what was the Revolution Hall in Portland? Gorgeous room.
And you know, they were... I just love those crowds. I love everything. We had a great time up there. So
I didn't care for the crowds. You know what? If you're going to show up to a comedy show, show up to laugh, crowds. I'm just kidding. The crowds were fucking dynamite.
I will say that the thing that has really thrown me into a tizzy is in Portland. Everyone there is so lovely. And you might even say they're too conscientious on some level. When that one woman that we interviewed in the crowd was talking about her find at the thrift sale,
at the estate sale,
she said, I got a Lazy Susan, and I know we're not supposed to say that anymore. That to me
we're not supposed to say Lazy Susan anymore.
Everybody I've brought that up to is like, what are you talking about?
I don't understand.
I understand.
That felt insane.
I am for every kind of embrace and change, but Lazy Susan feels like.
Here's the thing, and I'm willing to say this: Susans are lazy.
Amen.
You know what? I've never met a Susan that wasn't so lazy.
And by the way, Lazy Sam, Lazy Susan, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, I love the idea. I also just love the idea of a Lazy Susan in general. It's a great device.
Oh my God.
Spin that around the table. As a kid, I loved that idea that you could just get whatever you needed.
And when the first time I got a Scrabble board that was on a Lazy Susan, remember how incredible that was?
That's
the stuff.
That's gaming.
Yes, but those cities were incredible. Those crowds were fantastic. After you guys all left, I stayed an extra day and had an incredible meal in Portland at Cann, Kann. Wow. Incredible meal. Thank you, Cann.
Ooh, I love that. I had to run to San Francisco. And I had a great time in San Francisco. And I will tell you this, you can hear my full thoughts on this. I know it's a couple weeks old now, but I was on the film cast and I got to talk about Bad Boys 4, which I texted you the minute I got out of the theater, because I believe that we have to cover Bad Boys 4 on How Did This Get Made. I really was thinking about it. Because it might fall into the category of thank God it got made. I don't want to blow it out right now because you haven't seen it, I know. But it is it feels to me like when that comes on VOD, it might be perfect because it's like Fast and Furious meets the R-ratedness of Beekeeper. And you have these like two things that I think are really fun. And as an action movie fan, I'm very much on board.
Yeah, no, and I mean, listen, I enjoyed the last installment, 3, right?
Yeah,
this was 4?
Which is sadly, 3 is called Bad Boys for Life. If only they waited.
That's so funny.
Bad Boys
but I enjoyed
Life.
that, but it really is, it's so interesting. It's really interesting to be, to be processing a Will Smith movie in a post-slap world, which feels nuts.
It's kind of funny because I think in a weird way, watching the movie is like, why were we mad at him again? I was like, I guess I understand. But it's like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, you're like, all right, it was a slap. It wasn't the best thing. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, I was like, and the movie does a really good job of oddly addressing it.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yes. Okay.
And again,
I'm so curious.
And again, I'm not minimizing what he did, but I think that there's an energy around the whole. Even people writing reviews are like, "Yeah, I mean, it was just a slap." I mean,
oh God, I gotta engage with this. I can't wait to see this.
But don't go too deep because I think when you see the way that they deal with it, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Okay,
there's a lot there that I would
I'm
love
excited
to unpack.
get into it.
Yeah, I would love to unpack it with you. Okay, so there's a bunch to talk about. I know that you have not gotten a chance to kind of share what you've been up to, but tell me what you have been looking forward to, what you've been watching, all that sort of stuff.
Such a good question. Here, let me look at my list. We are in a pretty fun time right now of some shows returning, some new stuff that I've been watching that's just, I think, dynamite. So
have you watched The Acolyte?
The Acolyte?
Yes.
Yes. Let's shout out Leslie Headland, fan of the show, past guest, future guest, I will say. She'll be back. Don't worry. We're going to get her back on. Written, directed, Leslie Headland crushing it on The Acolyte. Absolutely fantastic.
What I love about Leslie is, and I read a lot of stuff online because, look, the online is a very safe space for creative people in the Star Wars world.
It's such a cool space, especially Star Wars fandom.
Yes.
It seems like you know what? The internet is a pretty rough place. Star Wars fandom is safe, though.
Very safe. And people would say, I'd read people online going, she doesn't know about Star Wars. I'm like, literally, this is the person who knows so much. A person who wrote me an email when I said Star Wars came out in, I believe I said, oh yeah, Star Wars came out in 1976. And she was like, 1977. And I was like, wow. All right. I was like, got it. Note taken.
I love it. But she's right. You know what I mean? Like, she's on it. She is somebody who has like a depth of knowledge about Star Wars that is incredible. And she is doing something. I love the High Republic era. I don't know if you've read any of those books or the comics or anything. So I'm so into this period. I love that we exist in a time without any dumb Skywalkers, without any of the stories that I'm just a little bit tired of exploring, frankly. I'm so happy to be hundreds of years in the past from those stories.
And I think you also have these great people, that you love. Whether it's Carrie-Anne Moss, who I think is just amazing. Charlie Barnett, who you know from Russian Doll, so good. Manny from The Good Place.
Manny Jacinto is having a blast in this show.
Looks so fun. I remember one night I was texting with Leslie's like number 2 writer out there, and he was like, let me just tell you, we are in the middle of a forest shooting a lightsaber scene. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
well, that's the other thing that I like about it is there's a lot of stuff that's clearly real.
Yes.
There's been a lot of The Mandalorian, a lot of stuff that's been coming out lately, the Obi-Wan show, feel very much like they're shot in the volume completely almost.
Yes.
And while there's certainly elements of The Acolyte that are also shot on a volume, there's a ton of practical, we're out in the middle of a forest type of stuff. And that, I think, lends it like a real weight. And it just feels new. It just feels like new Star Wars stuff, even though there's stuff that we're familiar with. It just, like, some of the planets feel new. The fact that there's so many Jedi in the High Republic era is also new and cool. And that the Jedi are kind of shitty. I love I love how Leslie is framing the Jedi as, they are in a time of peace. So they are just kind of like assholes. They're kind of like,
they're like
entitled pricks, which is fun.
I mean, it's such an interesting way that we're attacking Star Wars right now. I know we talk about it a bunch on this show, but these outlier shows have been really fun. The one I realized I did not watch was Ahsoka. I did not watch Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah. You didn't at all? Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. It just missed me. I don't, sometimes you're in these little zones and I'm I remember seeing the billboards for it and then I just, so I am going to go back and watch that as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing is and what I want to recommend, one of the reasons I want to recommend the Acolyte to people specifically is, and I really enjoyed Ahsoka, but Ahsoka really is an installment in a story that Dave Filoni has been telling for 15 years now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dave Filoni created Ahsoka Tano, Anakin's Padawan, when she's like a 14-year-old Padawan when she's introduced in the Clone Wars animated show. And now in live action, we see her much, much later in life. So that series exists in a space that really benefits you having watched Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian, all this stuff versus the Acolyte. You can just turn on the Acolyte. You can have watched no Star Wars in the last 10 years, and you can enjoy the Acolyte. You can have complete access to this story because it's not beholden to any stories that have come before. It's great.
I'm not going to still get June to watch it, but at least I can try with that. I mean, I can give a soft pitch. But yes, so you're talking about things are coming back, new things are happening right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll throw out a couple of things just because I think there's a lot of great stuff. Returning shows, We Are Lady Parts. Season 2 of We Are Lady Parts is up on Peacock. Boy, it is just absolutely fantastic.
And I feel like
love
it's getting a lot of press this season.
Thank God. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's really fantastic. Everybody's killing it. And the songs are great. It's really hard to do a show about a band and have the music make sense, in that way that it was always hard for Studio 60 or 30 Rock to try and perform sketches and have them make sense. It's hard for, music in shows, but these songs are great. I love We Are Lady Parts. Nita Manzoor, incredible writer, director, creator, just fantastic. If you're interested in the show, I've recommended it before, but please watch her movie Polite Society. It's dynamite.
I'm excited about that.
I've mentioned before, this show Mum is so beautiful. I think you guys would love it. Okay. It's on BritBox though, which is
that.
My only question. If you get it, great. It's Leslie Manville from Phantom Thread and from a million other movies. And it's just a beautiful, quiet British sitcom that's really beautiful.
I feel like we don't make sitcoms anymore. And that to me really bums me out. There is this, we are so content, we're so excited to make these bigger things that we just
or to make things that have more drama or more the stakes are so big versus isn't something like Dead Pixels or Extraordinary, aren't these just hilarious?
Yes.
These are funny shows. Well, Girls 5 Eva is hysterical. Full stop.
As a matter of fact, when I was in New York, Busy Phillips did my book event there.
Nice.
She was awesome. We got to talk a little bit about that. It's such a funny show.
So funny.
Now I was wondering because Danielle Schneider, she turned me on to a show called Fisk. Have you heard about that?
Don't know it. Never even heard of it.
Okay.
What is it?
So basically this, it's basically a lawyer who's very high end, who is forced to take a job at a local shitty law firm that you would pass on the street after a marriage breakdown, and it has elements that reminds me of what's that show that you were on, the Mike White show.
Enlightened. Enlightened.
It's enlightened but lighter. It's super, super funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's
I'll watch Fisk. I'll
Kitty
watch that.
Flanagan. It's on Netflix. And they have 2 seasons of it. It's really, really, really funny.
Ooh, I love that. Okay. Great. That sounds good. Anything else have you watched any of the Ren Fair show?
No, because June said that she hates Ren Fair stuff, so I have to watch that privately.
Oh, dude. Get involved.
I can't.
You're gonna
wait.
like it. June. I bet June would like it only because it's wall-to-wall characters.
Well, that's
It's
what I
like
thought.
Tiger King it's like Tiger King, or it's like it's just, you're there for characters, not Ren Fair stuff.
I
Ren Fair is the
know.
backdrop for a palace intrigue show.
It's
fucking nuts.
It's like Succession, right? So I'll tell you this much. When I pitched Ren Fair to June, she said,
Yeah.
no, we're going to watch Hitler and the Nazis Evil
What?
on Trial, which is a new Netflix by
Like a docuseries?
Yes, by Joe Berlinger, who did like,
oh, sure. Yeah,
right,
of course. Yep.
And I was like, the last thing I want to do is watch Hitler and the Nazis. And I have to tell you, it's very good. It's
I'm sure
very
it's great.
good because they do real life reenactments mixed with doc footage. Or not real life, but they have actors, and it's really cool.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So
got it. I'll check
Joe
that out.
Berlinger did Paradise Lost,
Yeah.
Metallica, Some
Yep.
Kind of Monster. He's also done these like other true crime shows like Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, and Conversations with a Killer. So
Great.
yeah,
I love that. That
it's
sounds
really,
great.
It's
just
way better than you thought it would be.
Okay,
Or
I'll
I
watch
thought
that.
it would be.
I like that we're in a documentary corner, so
Yeah.
I'll throw a couple of other docs in the mix. Ren Fair, I think, is a blast. It's just
Okay.
fun. It's silly fun. It's characters welcome, USA.
Love it.
The Stax documentary, Stax Records documentary, it's four episodes on Max, is just incredible. Otis Redding, Rufus and Carla Thomas, Booker T and the MGs. It is like a just nonstop litany of incredible songs, incredible footage that they've got, incredible live performances. It is terrific. I was very into that documentary. As into that documentary as I was, I did not love the Beach Boys documentary on
Interesting.
Disney.
Okay.
So I can't quite recommend it.
Well, I can tell you,
And
I can take a
Yeah, go ahead.
documentary that just came out.
Please.
The Disappearance of Sherry Papini. Again, June is bringing me
Great.
into these things, but I don't know if you know about this.
Not even remotely.
Okay, this woman has this amazing life. Everything's good, right? And then she vanishes. And why she vanishes, it's a real twist. It's a real twist of a doc. Well, you know what? Let me just be honest. It's a hoax.
Wow.
So
okay.
it's a kidnapping hoax. It's very good. It's
Interesting.
very, very
Okay.
good.
Great.
Again,
I'll
I'm
watch
like,
that.
sometimes I'm not into these true crime things. Sometimes I'm being forced to watch them. I watch a lot, and these are the ones that pop up that I'm like, oh, this is better.
I love that.
Better than normal.
That's great. Okay, that sounds good. I'll also throw into the mix, what's the name of the thing that I just thought of? You said that, and then, I'll throw the new, Frederick Wiseman, incredible, like not prolific, but incredible, like grandmaster of documentary filmmaking, made like Hospital and Salesman. And no, Salesman is the Maisels, but it doesn't matter. Frederick Wiseman, he has a new documentary that's like a 4-hour documentary about a restaurant in France. It's called Menu Plaisir Le Trois Gros. And it's about like a family restaurant and it's just a true fly on the wall, beautifully shot documentary that's like hours long about this restaurant.
Ooh.
and the family that's owned this restaurant, runs this restaurant, the sons and the father. It's great. It's really good. I can't recommend that enough. As well, the Ennio Morricone documentary that's just called Ennio is gorgeous and has great stuff in it.
Well, you're talking about docs, and I was thinking about this book I've been reading. It's a book about Elaine May. So it's not a doc.
It's on my list.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so into it. I really love it.
I got the audiobook.
Yes, it's I've been reading different chapters. Like I just kind of have been jumping around and not reading it linearly in a way. This because I was like, oh, I want to know about this. I want to know about this.
Yeah.
I love it. It's really it's not as good as the Mike Nichols book, which I think is so
the Mark Harris one.
Yes, I mean that
Right?
is unbelievable. This is like, I think what I've liked about this is when I've gone down rabbit holes of Elaine May, there's a lot of different things. I'm like, okay, what is this? Okay, and this author, her name is Carrie Corrigan.
Okay.
She does a great job of like kind of distilling and getting as much of the truth as it can possibly get. Because especially when it comes to something like Mikey and Nikki, holy shit, it's bonkers what's going on there.
Well, those are Nichols and May couldn't have been a bigger influence on me. Me and St. Clair, especially, you know, early on, those
you guys
albums.
so captured that vibe in so many ways.
Yeah, they were huge to us, you know, and to me, you know, that they then became these prolific writers and directors in that era. But yeah, I've only just started the book, so I can't even really speak to
it's really fun. And you know, for me, what I was doing was I hosted this thing at Vidiots, so I wanted to make sure that I had
about the book or about the
Mikey and Nikki. So I just wanted to
great.
talk about it a little bit. So
I still have not been to Vidiots.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Truly like a wonderful space, some fun food, great drinks, great atmosphere. It's really, really great. And what I've done there, I don't know if I've ever announced this officially. I have made copies of things that have not been available to stream. So, for example, you can rent or whatever they call it there, because it's not renting, it's a library. You know, it's like season 1 and 2 of Human Giant. Season 2 is unavailable of Human Giant.
I see.
You can get,
cool.
And so I've reached out to a lot of other friends who've created shows. I'm like, what has been pulled off streaming? Give me DVDs, and we put them on a shelf.
Smart.
So we have a section there full of weird things that you can't find anywhere else that are just not on streaming. So like, you know, so that's...
Let's get close enough up there. Let's get JG Quintel's show close enough that I was on that got pulled.
If you just talk to him and then, that's great. Cause it's like, then we'll put it on the shelf. And that to me is what we need to be. What I really want is I want like a digital streaming library of everything that people can't monetize, because it should be available. It should just be available for all of us.
Like as a resource.
Yes.
And you should be able to pull up and watch all these things.
If you're
like
declaring bankruptcy on it, don't make money on it, but just let me see it.
Yes, I agree. I think that's very smart. That's great. I love that. Ooh, that's cool. That's very,
so we're trying to.
I want to watch the Human Giants.
I was so excited to have it out there. I was like, "This is great. Just have something."
I love that.
I also watched Movie Pass, Movie Crash, or Movie Crash, Movie Pass.
I started that. I got like half an hour in. I was enjoying it.
Yeah,
I then
fun.
had to leave the house.
Very, very bare bones, kind of interesting doc. Like, yes, it's interesting, and you know, I guess what I'm realizing in all these documentaries, like, what happened? Rich white guys took over and decided to hire 50 Cent. Yeah. Like, it's like the stupid, like, of course it failed. Like, it failed in such an insane way because it's like the money was just spent like stupidly and with no reason. I mean, it's comical. It's like you always...
No, I enjoy it. And it's another thing that is just characters.
Yes.
You know, like all those guys that come in and turn it into this disaster, they're all such characters. They're all such blowhards.
I mean, and did you also, did you watch Jinx 2?
I didn't. No.
I'm kind of mixed on it, but I also am like, man, that one is really fascinating to me, because Jinx is like, he's like, okay, I think I know what this is going to be. And you never quite can get ahead of him. It's like, and there is still, I feel like the problem with that documentary, in my opinion, is they didn't quite give you that, like, and we don't know either. Like, it's sort of like, I feel like it leaves it open a little bit. Like, there are just things that you just don't know. You can make a pretty solid assumption on, but I didn't find it to be as fulfilling as the first one. It was just more time with this character who's a crazy sociopath. I mean, you know, in many ways.
How funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll at some point I'll catch up with that.
I mean, one of the funniest things that I love is they show a moment on the trial and they're like, you know, did you kill so-and-so? He's like, no. And he's like, if you did kill so-and-so, would you lie about it? Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. It's like the OJ If I Did It.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Book,
it's like, it's just like, I mean, but he's also like, but there's something about that honesty that is also fascinating too. It's like, of course you would
hilarious.
lie. Like, you know, like, oh my gosh.
I love it. That's great. I was going to say one of the other things that what was I going to say? I can't remember if I shouted out the Dave Attell special hot cross buns that I really enjoyed.
We talked about that. Or maybe we talked about that privately even. It's great.
Okay, got it. Good. I really enjoyed that. And then you know what? I'm going to shout out just a couple of, if you don't mind, comics. I'm loving Ed Brubaker, our friend Ed Brubaker, who was up at the Portland show, up in Portland filming his show, an adaptation of his book, Criminal.
Great cast.
One of my all-time favorite ongoing series of books to tune into. His Reckless books are still coming out and are fantastic. He had a great book called Follow Me Down recently that I liked. Batman Detective Comics right now, Gotham Nocturne. Fantastic. Rom V writing, absolutely great. I'm really enjoying that. What else was I going to say? There was something else. Night Fever, that's last year's Brubaker book that I really liked.
That we were just talking about the other day. I can't remember the name of it. It's coming to the end.
The body one.
Right.
Is
it
the body? What's it called?
I love that book.
Yeah.
It's
while you look that up, I'm going to shout out a couple of other books. Tom King's Penguin book is great right now.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Yes.
Where the Body Was is the Ed Brubaker book.
I was thinking about Friday Book 1. Like they're doing the three books of that. Really great.
All the Friday books are fantastic.
Yes.
All the Friday books I love. And I will also, while we're shouting out Friday books, because Friday has a real Nancy Drew vibe to it, some books that I love, the Hobtown Mysteries, that are also kind of Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, have also just come out in color versions.
Ooh.
They were previously not color, and so they've put them out in color versions, and they look gorgeous. I can't recommend that enough. Anyway, and it was great to see up in Portland, Brian Michael Bendis came out to the show. Ed Brubaker came out to the show. Matt Fraction came out to the show. True, like, comics legends
the coolest
at
thing
our
was,
dumb improv show.
I mean, they were so fun to see them all. And I was doing a signing post-show, so I couldn't be backstage hanging out with you guys, hanging out with all them. And when they exited, they walked by the line to say hi to me. And literally, it was like watching the Beatles of comics walk by. People were losing their mind because it was so, they were just like, and it's like, and I was also, like, I talk
really
to Ed
cool.
a lot, but I, to see Brian Michael Bendis, who I'm such a fan of, and like,
oh my God.
it's such a,
and Fraction too. And
like, that's the thing.
Fraction's been doing that Monarch show.
Yes.
The Godzilla Monarch
show.
Which
I think is really fun. Kurt Russell and
Wyatt Russell,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was really cool. That was neat. Great to see them. And all of them, like, fantastic. The stuff they're doing is just so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. All right. We will talk again soon.
All right. Goodbye.
All right, people. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Jason, but it's now finally time to announce our next movie. Next week, we'll be going from Sharks That Scowl to, get ready for it, Farts. That's right. Farts that are foul. Next week, we are watching the 2002 classic Thunderpants, starring Rupert Grint, Paul Giamatti, and Stephen Fry. And to say Paul Giamatti stars is, it's true, I guess. Okay, here is the breakdown of Thunderpants, which we watched and we did. This is a crazy movie. An 11-year-old boy's amazing ability to break wind leads him to fame and then death row before it helps fulfill his ambition of becoming an astronaut. Yes, all this is true. Rotten Tomatoes gives this film a 67% on the tomato meters. Yep, no problem there. There are only 6 reviews. That's why it might be so high. Letterboxd user Alec S. writes, Thunderpants is the best portrayal of Great Britain I've seen in quite a while. And the user CrimBQ writes, he might be passing gas, but he's certainly not passing the Bechdel test. All right. Let's take a listen to the trailer.
Get ready for a film that will blow you away. In an incredible story.
Thunderpants.
7. Of a boy. 6. With a unique gift. 5.
You're going to be a spaceman.
4. And 1. 3. Big. 2. Dream. 1.
Genius.
Thunderpants is available to rent on Apple TV Plus and Amazon Prime Video, but it's also available to stream for free on our favorite library-run streaming service, Hoopla. And remember, in addition to Hoopla, Canopy and Libby are 2 more digital media services offered by your local public library that allow you to consume movies, TV, music, audiobooks, ebooks, comics for free. That is it, people. Thank you. Remember to rate and review the show. And if you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please follow us, okay? Get those automatic downloads turned on. It helps the show. Okay, it helps the show to have automatic downloads turned on. It's not taking up that much space. Anyway, visit us on social media at HDTGM, and a big thank you to our producers Scott Sani and Molly Reynolds, and our movie picking producer Avril Halley, and our associate producer Jess Cisneros, and our engineer Casey Holford. We will see you next week for Thunderpants.